All right, Nick, let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks. Mike McDonald's come in, done an admirable job with the Seahawks so far, but he needs a little bit more help. Obviously, they moved off of Grubb, the old offensive coordinator. They're looking for their new man to run the offensive side of the football. I think we have some really good news for Seahawks fans. Really great option that's popped up. But before we get to that, I'm Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, Nick, as I alluded to, the Seattle Seahawks have a really interesting offensive coordinator in their sights. Let's get into the article and we can talk more about it on the other side. This is from Seattle Times. It says a favorite offensive coordinator appears to be emerging for the Seahawks. Clint Kubiak, who spent last season as the offensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. According to NFL.com, the league's official website reported that Kubiak will have a second in-person interview with the Seahawks on Friday after an initial interview Tuesday. He is the first of the 4 reported candidates to get a second interview, feeling like Clint Kubiak is in the driver's seat for the Seahawks OC job, wrote Mike Garafolo of NFL Media. I think this is really big news for Seattle. Bringing him in second time, first guy. I think this is their first choice. Looks like a very, very good option for them as well. Curious what your thoughts are on this one, Nick, but before we get to you, Seahawks fans, in the comment section below, talking about the new OC takeover for this team, drive it in the right direction. Let's talk hypothetically. If you hire Kubiak, is this your guy? What do you think of the pick? Is it an A? Did they knock it out of the park? Is it a C? You're really hot and cold on it. You don't know what to think. Or is it an F? You hate it and you wish they would have gone with someone else. If that's the case, maybe tell us who else you were looking at. But let us know all this stuff in the comment section below. Nonetheless, Nick, what are your thoughts on this latest potential candidate for the Seahawks?
So I think Kubiak's a good candidate. And I think at this point, it's almost a done deal that Clint Kubiak becomes the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Seahawks have basically laid down their cards on the table and saying, hey, listen, he is our guy. He is our primary target. He's our number one candidate to be our next OC. And Kubiak's looking for an opportunity that honestly was a little bit better than the New Orleans Saints. They're in a volatile environment, of course, new head coach coming in, Clint Kubiak likely out of a job. And anyone who has hired anyone in a big business or corporate America understands the process of what's going on here, right? Anytime you're looking to find someone to fill a role like the Seahawks are doing with the offensive coordinator position, the first thing you do, if you're doing the first set of interviews, you narrow it down to people with qualifications. So you're looking for an OC, Clint Kubiak obviously has the qualifications. You call him for an interview, and that first interview over the phone or Zoom or whatever is a technical interview. You're grading their intelligence. You're grading, hey, do they know football? Do they know the schemes? How good of a technical guy are they? And for anyone that then goes on to the second interview, and anyone out there who's ever hired and interviewed people go through this process understands that the second interview is basically, okay, is this guy someone that we can actually get along with? Because he crushed the technical, he has all the quals, he has all the certifications, he's everything we want on paper. How is he in person? Is he someone we can actually work with and hang around day to day for the next, X number of years? What this means is if they're bringing in Kubiak for that kind of interview after doing one technical interview over Zoom or phone call or whatever, it means that they're this close to hiring him. They just want to make sure he's not some whack job, in their office, right? Trust me, I've looked when I've come time to hire people. I've looked at hiring engineers in a lot of cases to join my team way back in the day. Sometimes you bring in a guy, he's a little off his rocker, right? Maybe he's not your favorite candidate anymore, even though he rocked the technical interview. That's why you bring people in to see, is it a good fit? Does he fit the culture? Can you get along with them? And if Clint Kubiak does ace that, which there's no reason to think he's not, he seems by all accounts to be a normal human being, then he will be the next offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. And if that's the case, this is a great hire by Seattle. We talked about it about a week or so ago about how Seattle needed a guy running play action, needed a guy from that Shanahan-esque kind of scheme to make things easier on Geno Smith, run the football a little bit better, make it easier concepts for the offensive line and running back. Kubiak is the perfect guy to do that. When he had a healthy offense and a healthy offensive line with the New Orleans Saints those first 2 weeks of the season, put up 240 burgers. Injuries kind of made life hard the rest of the way, but he definitely has the chops to lead and execute an offense at the highest level. He fits exactly what the Seahawks need. I think they're going to announce the hire within the next 72 hours, and it would be a great move for Seattle.
Yeah, Nick, and when you talk about guys, the technical, the people who really understand the game, the technicians, the guy who really have their plan down of what they're going to execute offensively for a team, Kubiak fits that bill exactly. But then you go on to talk about are guys good fits? Are their personalities good fits? Are they normal human beings, like you said? And I definitely think Kubiak fits that bill. But I kind of want to give a thought on what it would be like if he did not. You look at why this is important and why, if he goes through this interview and it goes well, he'll get hired. You look at a guy like Mike McDaniel for the Dolphins. McDaniel, very great technical guy as far as offensive go. He's a little bit kooky. He's a little out there. He's different than a lot of NFL coaches go. And I think we're starting to see a little bit of the repercussions of that. You see the rumors about the immaturity in the locker room, just there's not a huge handle on the team. So that is what could happen if Kubiak was that guy. He is not that guy. I think he's got a great head on his shoulders. We've seen it time and time again that this is a guy who really knows what he's doing. But that's the other option here. If you don't go through these interview processes, if people don't knock it apart, that's kind of guys that you're looking at. Someone like McDaniel, very smart, knows offensive football, really great as far as a technician goes, but doesn't fit personality-wise. I think Kubiak is a really strong personality fit for this team with the Seattle Seahawks. I think it'd be a really great hire, and I'm glad they're doing the due diligence, going through everything, because just because the guy knows what he's talking about doesn't mean he's necessarily qualified. But Clint Kubiak, he is definitely more than qualified.